baby. Faut nous connaître pour meilleur, c'est pour nous tout ça bénéfice. For all the wonders you done for us all, spreading the culture all over the world. For all the good things that you done for, cause that's what it is. We thanking you. We thanking you, brother.
Good morning, Dominica. Good morning, Eastern Caribbean. Welcome to another Creole Heartbeat program. And it's a pleasure to be with you. It's an absolutely wonderful Wednesday on the Nature Island. We are so privileged to be in your company. This is the Nation Station, DBS Radio, and we are very privileged to bring you the number one cultural program in the Western Hemisphere, and we're going through the cracks and crevices of our beautiful nation island. Bring it to you as they unfold. Sports, culture, the life of a people. We are a Creole people, and we are so fortunate to be part of the universe. We are the Creole people, part of a major fraternity, and Dominica excel as the Creole capital of the world. Bonjour tout le monde, à tout quoi la Dominique et aux Antilles, c'est un grand plaisir pour nous là, monsieur. Nous disons bonjour à tout quoi la Dominique, monsieur. Est-ce que tout était bien avec Zoc? Est-ce que tout était dans différentes gammes pour Zoc Jordana? Nous disons vraiment bonjour et bienvenue sur Paul Sassia Creole. With me is a very instrumental guy who has been doing so much for culture, for sports in Dominica. You wouldn't believe the amount of our friends that he sent across through his connections to actually study, to come back and make their contribution in Dominica. Sports tourism, cultural tourism is his forte, and he has been relentlessly pursuing that endeavor. And today, as 50% of Creole Heartbeat, he's going to give us some information as to the Dominica Music Awards 2025, carried for May 17th, 2025. Jerry Williams, good morning to you, my brother.
Morning, Wadix. Morning. It's a pleasure to be in studio, behind the scene most of the time, but then at the front of the scene on the mic, ready to, entice the public to tell them about the Dominica Music Award this year.
I'm really excited that you agreed to be part of this extravaganza. It is so difficult to get you in the forefront. But this time around, we are so happy and privileged. The Dominica Music Awards. First of all, what is the Dominica Music Awards, Jerry?
Basically, as we know, it's the music is part of the creative industry. And we felt a few years back to really celebrate our musicians, our producers, to show gratitude to them. This year we want to continue it, and we also want to expand it, because within the creative industry, it's not only musicians. You have the producers, you have the sound system on the road, you have the engineers, you have the influencers. So we and the photographers. So this year we want to celebrate everyone who have made this industry what it is. It's a growing industry within the world, as we just realized that our carnival was one of the biggest in a long time, and then we're seeing our artists out there. They have been out there before, back in the days, but now they're again showing their worth, being out there, and we're better to be celebrated than home. Yes, you're celebrated outside. Yes, you're recognized outside, but we have to celebrate our own. We have to recognize our artists as they go up, where they can encourage others to really come into the art form. Not until they are retired or they have passed away. We want to give them their flowers while they're alive.
Absolutely, and this is so important. Artists, sports tourism, cultural tourism is a major industry globally. We see what it can do for Jamaica in particular, where they had the fastest man alive, Usain Bolt. We saw what it did for their music in terms of Bob Marley, and we talk about all the great reggae and dancehall artists. We are seeing what it's doing for TNT. We see what it's doing for the Haitians. We see what it's doing for Barbados. Sports and cultural tourism is a major tourism product. And it's so important to highlight the technocrats, the individuals, this time in music and entertainment, who has done so much to bring Dominica's music to the fore.
Definitely. And then it's an export product that we may not look at it as an export product. We may look at saying, okay, we have banana, we have the produce, but the music is an export product that brings in foreign exchange. And again, we just saw the numbers in regards to arrival, the numbers in regards to contribution towards the economy, and it's something that we need to really take serious, and we need to celebrate, not just leave it up to the artists to do the work, but embrace them, celebrate them, let them be a part of society in regards to celebrating them. That someone, a younger person looking at them, can say, okay, I want to be a musician, and not just look at it as a pastime or something just you do when you don't have time. It's an industry. And you spoke about sports. Sports again it's an industry. Sports tourism. You spoke of Trinidad, Barbados, but right across from us is St. Lucia, who is showing us, they are capitalizing on the sports tourism market.
Absolutely. And give us, just for people who may not know, we had a first edition, I think, 2 years ago. Tell us about that particular first edition, which was held, I think, at the Dominica, the Goodwill Parish Hall. Tell us about that first edition.
Okay, that first edition to us was a success because we were limited in what we could have done because it was around the COVID time. We had to follow a certain amount of protocols, the number of invited guests. But based on what we did and how we did it, it was a success. The artists embraced it. At that time, Carlin XP was the highlight of the awards, and we all know what she did during COVID in regards to her music, online music. So she came out with the most awards. We awarded DJs, we awarded the dance. And what we're trying to do is just not limited to the booyah and the calypso and the kadas. We have artists who are doing reggae, dancehall, R&B, zouk. So the categories are open to each and every one. So the previous one, as I said, we were limited in what we could have done, but again, it was a success.
Okay, let's get into the objectives. What are some of the major objectives for actually producing an event such as this?
One of the things is to raise the standards of the production of the music, to make it marketable, to make it a product that the world would want to embrace and indulge in. We are not the producers of the music, but then by creating criterias, by encouraging the artists to produce quality music, it not only help them, but then it helped us as a nation, as a nation that produces quality music, where we can, again, when I go back to exporting it, and also persons coming in to witness our carnival, our Jazz and Creole, our World Creole Music Festival. So by having a quality product, we are also going to not only export the music, but encourage persons to come. So the objective of the Music Awards is to raise the standards, to get the artists to really look forward to something, even though they may not, like, let's say, for instance, the dance or the R&B, even though it's not a genre that we created, but you have young persons who have that talent, and because of the internet, the World Wide Web, the different softwares, they can export their music, and then they can be successful with something that they can use to gain a livelihood.
How many genres are we exploring in this year's awards? I mean, the 2025 awards. We have known Dominicans to have been producing for the last, let's say, several years, all types of music. And just recently I did a research. I mean, you could think of reggae, you could think of gospel, you could think of Creole music, soca, dance, compa. You could think of soca, you could think of bouillon, you could go on and on. We are truly talented and possibly per capita in the
yep.
region and per capita possibly in the world, we can easily say that we are possibly the most productive in terms of what you are producing. How many categories that will be explored at this particular award ceremony?
Okay, so we want to do 25 in 25. So
That's
20
categories.
Categories. 25 categories in 2025. We have the Booyah Artist of the Year, Kadas Lipso Artist of the Year. We have the Gospel Artist of the Year, Soca Artist of the Year, Calypso Artist of the Year, Hip Hop Artist of the Year, Jazz Blues Artist of the Year, Dancehall Reggae Artist of the Year, Compa Zouk Artist of the Year, Album of the Year, Collaboration of the Year, Music Video of the Year, Producer of the Year, Songwriter, Male Artist of the Year, Female Artist, Band of the Year, Social Media Influencer of the Year. We have the DJ, the Musician of the Year, and as I said, musician, the guitarist, those that are in the background. Sound System of the Year. As we know, during Juve, you hear those clean sound on the road that contributes to our music product. Manager of the Year, Photographer, Videographer of the Year, Sponsor of the Year. We also have Events of the Year. And within some of the categories, like Sound System of the Year, we have the Engineer, the truck, the best looking, the best, decor truck on the road itself. Within the Calypso, we have the Junior category and the Senior. And within the Booyah, we have the Junior and the Senior category.
25 categories in 2025. This is a major feat. Where are we in terms of the awards itself? Nominations and even before, what's the date of this particular awards?
Okay.
And just kind of break down for us the process that one or a band or an artist to be eligible for this 25 major awards.
Okay, so basically the awards is on May 17th. Venue, we're still negotiating that. We want to get the best venue for the awards and the prestige of the awards. We have opened the nomination process as soon as Carnival is completed. So what we did is created a category between the end of Carnival to the end of next year's Carnival. So basically, after Ash Wednesday, you are eligible for, let's say, 2020. So last year, 2024. Ash Wednesday to the end of Carnival. This year, your music is eligible. So that is the time in regards to your production of your music. And then we felt that we needed to do that because within that is when most of the music is produced. The nomination process at this time is just for persons to nominate who they feel are the different, who they feel are the best in the different category. It's not voting processes yet. The nomination process finishes on the 31st of March, which is on Monday. Then after that, we compile all the nominees. Then we put it out there for persons to vote.
Okay. Let us take this. Let's just repeat what we said. So the process now is just for people or fans to actually nominate whoever they feel like in whatever category.
It doesn't matter. Basically, the name of the artist, the stage name, if there's an album, the album, if you have the link of their song, the link of their song, the name of their song, the category you're nominating them for. So that's basically what we're looking for at this time.
At this point in time.
Up until
that closes on
Monday.
On Monday. So that's on Monday coming. So if anyone possibly are interested in any of the categories of any music from any Dominican, you could actually raise. And once again, we will go over the various categories again in a while and possibly dissect it even further. So yes, so that's what we're asking. For instance, if you know for Booyah artists, you know for reggae artists, a dancehall, gospel artists, and that sort of thing, you can now nominate that particular person to where?
So you can basically go on our Facebook page, the Creole Heartbeat Facebook page. There is a QR code which you can scan, and it takes you directly to the nomination form. You can also do it presently on our live now. You can do it on the Facebook page. The onus now is on us. Once you nominate, you don't have to have all the information, but once you nominate an artist and the song, we would then go look for the song, look for the artist. Once it falls within the period, that person is nominated.
So once again, the period is from
up until the 31st of March.
But it would have started from
the 6th of March.
6th of March 2024 to
March 31st, 2020. Well, no, in regards to the nomination, is from March of last year, 2024, to March 5th of 2025.
2025.
Yes.
So we'll break down the categories. And by the way, Hassan, if anyone wants to nominate, we can take the calls and the line. Tell us the numbers that our viewers and listeners can call in if they would like to nominate any groups. Okay, so we are live on Creole Heartbeat. We are in with Jerry Williams, and we are speaking about the Dominica Music Awards, the second edition. It's scheduled for May 17th, 2025. So we are on to the nominations. So between now and Monday the 31st, once again, let's reiterate, between now and Monday 31st, you can now nominate any artist, Dominican artist, that you desire or you feel that has made a contribution from last year, March to March 2025, and you nominate. And if any one of you want to call, we have a caller?
No, but the numbers are 448-3281, 448-3279. International numbers are 305-4329-744, or you can call 1-800-327. So that's 448-3281, 448-3279. Internationally, 305-432-9744, or 1-800-327.
Okay, so you could call for to nominate whichever artist or band from the various categories, and we will take note. And then the second phase from the 31st of March would be what?
After the nomination is closed, we then put out all who were nominated to the public, and the public has the opportunity to vote for any artist, any category they want, who they figure should win that particular category. And you have until the end of April for that. We also have judges in place. So after that is done, the judges compile all the lists, all the nominations, the voting of the public as well. And then the judges then make their final decision for the top 3 in each category, and then we announce the winner on the night of the music awards.
Okay, so between now and Monday, we're asking for viewers, those who are possibly listening via DBS Radio, to nominate any artist they feel that that may have done the work, between 2024 March to 2025 March. You could nominate. As a matter of fact, you could call us now on DBS Radio, or you could post that particular person on our Facebook page, and that is Creole Heartbeat. Or you could even go as far as doing it on also my Facebook page also, just to make sure that we have quite a bit of access for people to do so. That is Wadik Sakai Malad, and you could just send your nominations. And then right after that, we would have had the various nominees. Then we would now send those nominees, post those nominees in the various categories, and allow our voters, our viewers and listeners, and who follow us on social media, to now vote for the various nominees in the various categories.
Definitely. And I just want to add, apart from the viewers, the public making the nominations and voting, I just want to specify that we do have judges who look at who follow the music throughout the year, the period.
So
now, one of the areas in the criteria of the judging, I can go, let's say, for instance, the male artist of the year. This award is to the individual artist, whether individual or group, who has demonstrated the most significant creative growth and development in overall consumption, live performances, virtual performances, professionalism, national and international media recognition, best overall achievement, performance and production, songwriting, composition, arranging and musicmanship as applied, and body of work. So within each category there is again,
sub-criteria
for the judges
for
to
the judges to
look
basically look at. So it's a very transparent process.
Yes.
And not only, well, it's not Creole Heartbeat that will be deciding on whoever wins the basic awards. You will decide together with the judges. Though the judges have various criterias for the various categories, and we were just reiterating. Let's say Bouillon Artist. Do you have the criteria for, let's say, Bouillon Artist of the Year award?
Yes. Let us
just break it down. Bouillon Artist of the Year award. Okay, we are live on DBS Radio. This is Creole Heartbeat, and we are basically giving you the information of the Dominica Music Awards. It's a historic time in Dominica, as Dominica really, on a roll of late with the music. As we got the production is on a real height, and we're trying to keep it that way and honor and award those who really excel for 2024 to 2025. That's March 2024 to 2025. Let's say the Bouillon Artist of the Year.
The Bouillon Artist of the Year.
When everything is tabulated, everything is the voters vote for whichever that are nominated, and then what the judges would look for.
Okay, so this category recognizes excellence in bouillon. The nominees were being determined by 50% consumption, 25% public nomination, and 25% or we would also have our DJs as well nominate the top 10. The nominees would then be submitted to the judges. The vote of the winner will be determined by the consumption and visibility. Voting by the
let's
public.
Let's say Carnival.
Right. So
how would you gauge consumption and visibility?
Basically on the road.
On the road.
Fets. The reaction of the public. So basically that would be consumption and visibility, about 25% of the judging criteria.
And let's say on the road would be, let's say, the biggest band or the most pulsating band, that sort of thing, most effective band on the road, that sort of thing.
Voting by the public is 10%. Judges vote is 65%, which is local impact, global impact, embodiment of our culture, which is 15%. So we're basically trying to produce a professional product. So
so let's say bands that normally get different gigs regionally, that would be part of the record and would be part of the criteria that the judges would look at. And even international, played in international events, let's say in North America, Europe.
The different carnivals
all over, all that would be part of it.
That will be part of it, yes.
Okay. We also have the Kadas Lipso Artist of the Year award. And then once again, we're asking you for your nominations, and you can go to our Facebook page, Creole Heartbeat, and also you could check on and nominate until Monday, and then we will bring down the nominations or finalize the nominations, so you can now vote on the artist or band that you feel that is most suited, in your opinion, for the various categories. So we had the Bouillon Artist of the Year. We now into Kadas Lipso Artist of the Year. Do you have the criteria close by of the Kadas Lipso Artist of the Year?
Okay, so this is something we look differently because it's not as popular
at this moment
Bouillon. Right. So must be noted that there's a decline in the production of Kadas Lipso. This category will be one that will look at ways to reward the artists who have created music during the period, create a special judging criteria. We're going to create a special judging criteria because at the end of the day, when you look back, let's be real, there is no production of Kadas where you would have Calypso. So it's something that we would definitely look at to say, do we expand based on the nomination, because as of now we have over 150 nominations in different categories. Kadas is not one of them. So that is something that we have to really look at, and that is again why we create this music award, to really and truly, it gives you an essence of what is being produced. Yes, Kadas is one of our genres, but it's not being produced the way the bouillon is being produced. So what do we do? How do we reward or encourage it? Do we now say, okay, let's take it to the school? that type of conversation that we want to have. So that's one of the reasons why we created this.
It's very important to note that it's so critical that being one of Dominica's genre and foremost genre that the production may not be as it used to be, but you want to be able to encourage and put the genre on a particular level to encourage people to actually create new music if they know that an award for that particular category is available at this prestigious award. You're giving an impetus to Calypso artists, or even people that may just love the music and want to produce. There are several studios that may want to produce brand new Calypso music. So it's basically to encourage the Calypso music industry in Dominica and musicians to feel part of this major award and do not feel intimidated by, let's say, the songs that are rotated more frequently on the various social media and even the radio. Gospel, it also falls under that category also.
Definitely.
I
want to
for a
touch the
fact
DJ.
that there is
Go ahead.
there is a competition that is held by Ken Robinson. It's a gospel festival. Every year, new music is produced every year. And there's a culminating of a various festival. But we will once again be asking the gospel people that listen to the various gospel radio stations and the gospel programs who may be more inclined in gospel. And it's once again another area where we want to encourage gospel artists to excel at their craft, continue to make music, to edify, to add to people's spiritual well-being, to allow people to the balance in not just spirituality but life in general. There's a time for the high voltage bacchanal stuff, but there's also a time for us to reflect on the divine intervention, our gifts, our blessings. We are so privileged to be alive every day. It's a blessing. So once again, we are allowing this particular category to be excelled by the gospel singers and writers. We know we have quite a bit. And
Actually,
we are exposing this particular category to that. We also have the Soca.
I want to go back to the gospel.
Gospel, yeah.
Because I must say that apart from Booyah, gospel has been one of the genres that have been nominated.
Yes.
And a good amount of nomination.
For gospel, right?
For gospel. So it's something that, and I think you mentioned Robinson.
Yes, well, yes.
I think it's something that...
It is something that I think he's doing now for about 3 years. A gospel festival. We also know DJ Alfie doing quite a bit of work in that area. But Ken has a particular, you have a special gospel festival with brand new songs. He's encouraging brand new gospel music to be produced and judged at the festival. Normally, I think just in the early December. But then the most important thing, on a yearly basis, you have quite a bit of new
exactly.
gospel music is being produced for that particular time. And throughout the year, we have been hearing some good gospel music. So once again, that is one of the categories that were nominated. Then we also have the Calypso Artist of the Year Award. And this is the Soca artist before Calypso, the Soca artist. And we all know that Dominica, despite of we are also very prevalent in bouillon, soca, is very closely related. It's a genre that is played all over, and musicians, artists, they are artists that specialize in soca, very similar to bouillon, but they distinctively play soca music. So once again, Dominican artists producing soca and soca between March 2024 and 2025 will be eligible for this award.
And I want to add to that, and I'm glad you mentioned Dominican artists, but again, you don't have to be living in Dominica to be nominated. And actually, we have nominations. We have an artist who's based in New York who has not been nominated. So that is an area that we want to say to individuals, you don't have to be living in Dominica, but once you fly the Dominica flag and you are Dominican, you're eligible to be nominated.
What about half Dominicans?
Half Dominicans, once you have Dominican
parentage. And I refer to CP.
Well, that's a good question. For me personally, I would tell you yes, but that's being biased.
Well,
But that's a very good question.
CP was born here actually, or her
No,
parents?
she was her parents. Her mother was
Her
born here.
mother is from Dominica, so she's qualified. Then the Calypso Artist of the Year award. Once again, Calypso fans, Calypso lovers. They have actually from basically this season to select, and the season we just had a powerful season. Quite a bit of monarchs in the finals, quite a bit of women also in the finals. I mean, almost a dozen women took part in the quarterfinals. It was really a year, and then dominated in the end by two women, a woman. Monarchy. It will be your choice once again to vote for the Calypso Artist of the Year award, and you'll be given the opportunity to do so. It could be a former monarch, it could be anyone that actually performed their Calypso this year within the space of eliminations and the culmination of Carnival Tuesday. You'll be given an opportunity. So you go on and vote for the artist, the Calypsonian. You think we have been talking about new Calypso on the World Creole Music Festival. There is an opportunity to inject some life, inject some positivity into Calypso. We have been feeling the negative connotations of late. We have been seeing the demise of the crowds of late. But there is something that can actually, lend a platform where Calypso lovers can actually take part in a genre they continue to love, a historic genre for us, Calypso, and that special Calypso award. Very interesting Hip Hop Artist of the Year award, Jerry.
Yes, we have a few local hip hop artists who dabble into the music itself. And then, for instance, we just mentioned if you're Dominican, you can be eligible to
as a Dominican residing
elsewhere,
anywhere.
I think I like, say for instance, 21 Savage, I think that is his name.
Yeah,
he has Dominican parentage. Let's say for instance somebody nominates him. Should he, and you just mentioned if you're half Dominican, should he be one that we look at, being nominated, if he accepts or if it's something that would then take our music on a different platform, because Dominic is recognizing him as a Dominican hip-hop artist, which would help.
Well, I believe it's important. You don't have to reside in Dominica. If you have that strong, naval link, naval embryonic link to Dominica. I think for instance, Thea doesn't live in Dominica, but then
she can be
she doesn't live in Dominica.
In
a lot of the artists don't reside here. I mean, we know of several artists residing out. Gordon Henderson doesn't reside here. We know several artists who don't reside in Dominica, but they produce music. So you don't have to reside in Dominica to be eligible for any of the awards. Jazz and Blues Artist of the Year award.
Yes, as we know, we do have a Jazz and Creole festival or event, and again, this category encourages artists to produce that type of music, because at the end of the day, once you produce that type of music and it's of quality, and you have different songs, then you are able to be featured on the Jazz and Creole lineup. And again, it gives you a platform to elevate your music. You have within the regions, you have the St. Lucia Jazz Festival. Eventually, you can end up and be on.
There's
that
also
festival.
The Teo de Blues in Marigalante. Okay, Dancehall Reggae Artist of the Year award. This is not anything new. We have several reggae, several reggae dancehall artists who have been producing, by the way, producing quite a bit of music. So the criteria for this one, Jerry, I'm not sure if you have it close by, but this shouldn't be a very difficult one, because we have been producing regularly, frequently. Quite a bit of reggae, dancehall music. Not very many of them.
Winner was Colton T.
The winner was Colton T last year, and he continues to produce not only dancehall reggae, but also he has been in the Bouillon in the bouillon realm also.
Black Diamond has gone
Black
into
Diamond
the,
has also gone.
and then we're seeing the French reggae,
influence.
and I think that is somewhere that we can also capitalize.
Yeah, if you have Dominican roots once
Creole,
again.
Yep.
All right. Then we have the Compar and Zouk Artists of the Year. And that is those who produce Zouk. We know of bands that are producing
Ecstasy.
producing Compar. Serenade themselves did something, some of the solo artists also did something within that last year. But it's another avenue where we have the World Creole Music Festival. And yes, we have the dominance of the bouillon music, but there are other genres that if you excel in those genres, produce good music, market it, market it in a way that people can leave Dominica shores, it can be eventually global, and who knows, you may get a particular award, and then it may be a stepping stone for you to the World Creole Music Festival, or continue your dominance in the World Creole Music Festival. But the most important thing, a lot of who performs at the festival, doors are open to them elsewhere. So we are just trying to, realize the foundation. It's so important to understand the foundation. You are based here, you produce music here, you are from Dominica, and here is our way of saying thank you for what you have done for Dominica. Thank you for being a musician. Not everyone can be a doctor or a lawyer and survive. You can be a musician and survive. We have heard stories of those. Even recently, we have been hearing the stories of those who survive on the music. Maybe you can learn from their formula of what they do. We have been saying, so many new artists on the scene, in particular 2025, and this could just be a motivation for you. And Zouk could come by Album of the Year award, and it's another major feature.
And this also encourages musicians to create music, to create more than one song. And we just spoke about the World Creole Music Festival. So that is an area that it helps you now, because of your collection of music, you are able to do a 15-minute set or 45-minute set with your music, and not just create one song per se. And then that is, again, it encourages the artist to really go into the studio, spend the songs, put in the work, and then we look to recognize them, but not only recognize them, but create that platform for persons to really say, okay, I didn't know we produced this, or okay, this is from Dominica, that type of conversation.
Collaboration of the Year, which is something we have been saying, and encouraging, by the way, because it seemed to be a stepping stone for several artists. We saw quite a bit of collabos for just this year's carnival only, and even before that, we saw collabos with Ecstasy Band, we saw collabos with Trilogy and Skinny Fabulous. We also saw one with Trilogy, also again with Nyla Blackman. The one with Skinny Fabulous is also Shelly. Shelly is also part of it. We have been
also has a collab as well.
Shelly Signal Band also, there's collabs also. So that is, and even the ladies collaborated, and came down with a powerful bouillon also. For the year, we have been seeing so many collaborations with someone with Triple K, some with Issa. So quite a bit of collabos.
And even going further back, because the first award we had Dada as the producer of the year. And
he did that a special collab with Marshall Montano, Skinny Fabulous. Yep. Right. Okay, so then we move across to the music video of and then we have so many of those. We have seen an increase. We have seen an increase in the videography, and we have to big up, those who have been pushing the limit. And almost every song those days is accompanied by a video. So we have been seeing Dominica's music up in the game, and that's why we are feverishly working to have our 24/7 Creole channel where we can play Dominica's music all day and Dominican content all day long. It's something I've been working on. We have gotten quite a bit of challenges on the way, but then we are feverishly working because you need that. Yes, we have the social media, but there are people at their home who may just want to listen and view Dominican content.
Yep.
This is one of the ways that you can push a nation, build an industry, and we're feverishly continuing our thrust towards that. Producer of the Year award in both A. Calypso and B. Bouillon. Or both of them are part of the judging to choose one person.
No, we want to separate it, and again, it's to encourage. It's the two genres that are
dominant during Carnival.
During Carnival, and we need to celebrate and not basically pull them together.
Okay, so the producer of Calypso, you can vote for that particular person, or because it's not every Calypsonian that has the ability to produce themselves. There are people who write and record for people to sing. You know, there are people who actually just do the production, make sure everything is okay, and then allow the Calypsonian or the Calypso singer to come and perform the song. So we'll be looking to award those behind the scenes, possibly spending to get that particular bouillon or getting that particular Calypso to the forefront. Songwriter of the year, and this one is a very interesting one, where we again will be featuring every single genre. And we have been seeing, we know Calypso will be right up there because lots of new writers came up to the scene. We have been seeing some of the other ones. We have been seeing some of the regular ones, that is. But then also Bouillon, with all the Bouillon music that has been out, several writers. There was even a writing copyright issue for the Carnival we do not want to actually delve into, but then quite a bit of writers doing their work, doing their craft, some experimenting, some hit gold, some may have to learn and become more potent for next year. But this is one of the areas we really want to raise our craft, because we are realizing dividends now, and we need to continue and encourage what we have been seeing, what we have been experiencing. So once again, we'll be having
even to add to that, as we don't want to get into the copyright aspect, but then the writers can benefit. For instance, we went down to Portsmouth Secondary,
right?
And there's a teacher who
wrote for that's the Junior Bouillon Monarch. So that's, this is so encouraging that the teacher actually wrote for the Bouillon Monarch of Portsmouth for 2 consecutive years and actually winning the Junior Bouillon Monarch.
And we have to bring those
of course, we have to highlight, we have to highlight and encourage all the writers, because I think more than ever, I think in particular Calypso need to explore other writers to get the craft even more palatable.
It's like poetry.
Of course.
You have persons who are into poetry. They can take their it encourages that young little boy or little girl who takes their book and writes stuff and can basically give it to their fellow classmates.
I always felt that is something that the school should really emulate, get writers to come and I think the arts and culture should be taught at the school level. Somebody like Gordon Henderson, somebody like Gordon Henderson just have to listen to a music and writes a song. A song comes just like that. Some people are just super gifted, and we have those. And then some other people have to take a whole month to write a song, but then there are some that are just more gifted than others. We have also male artists and also female artists of the year. We have an A and a B section, senior and junior section.
Again, to encourage the younger ones to not let them feel that they have to reach a certain age to be recognized. You're good within your category. We want to recognize you, the seniors as well, but then again to encourage the young persons to be recognized, and to continuity is one of the best, or one of the key for our music to always be sustainability. And then we also have the Band of the Year award, and I would imagine we have any criteria for that, but this would be it would be different, and we're not talking about the feathers and so on band. We're talking about the musical bands of the year, and this one would be different from
one we had earlier, I think, Bouillon Artist of the Year. So then the Band of the Year and Album of the Year will be different. Song system.
So the Band of the Year is basically the group, Signal Band, TK, that type of.
But do you know that we are deficient in bands?
Yes.
And this is one of the major, fertilizer we are trying to give musicians to come together and form bands. As we speak, we don't have many bands, and I'm not sure if it is something that we have noticed. Yes, there's a TK, yes, there's a Signal Band, but then we have quite a bit of solo artists.
I think it's because, again, the success of Asa.
Yeah.
You find, because you look at it, you have Signal Band, Shelly and Signal Band, which is somewhat of a solo element within the band itself. And then you've seen a lot of solo artists. Nice. You have all the different
Quan, Little Boy.
I think it's because.
But I like bands. There's Ecstasy Band. I like Serenade. But bands. I believe that it is. See, I believe it's like how in sports.
Yeah.
It's like how in sports. You like the club structure. I believe the band structure, gives or lends towards the future in terms of having a platform to move on. Artists come here, artists go. You big this year, you can easily, but then a band together carries weight, carries.
It does, but then again, your trend. Again, as I said,
music
back
trends.
Then, because back then you had Gaylords, that was trending up until WCK, Triple K. Then you have Asa, and that is where the trend now changed
to solo.
To solo because of the success of Asa. But then,
don't you think one of the biggest critics of the bouillon music is this? It sounds monotonous. Do you think that is possibly why? Because bands add their own flavor to their sound. For instance, even in the early days of bouillon, let's take in the early days of bouillon, CK was sounding different from Serenade. Serenade was sounding different from RSB. RSB different from let's say Rough and Ready, from Effects. All the bands were playing bouillon, but then their sound was different. You have lots of artists, but then most of the song, their music, as a DJ, sound very similar.
The popularity of
sound very similar. I believe with bands you can create, a brand. You can see what Signal is doing. Signal is creating a brand. The music is like a brand. Sometimes you don't even have to hear Shelly, but you can just tell is a Signal vibe. But then a lot of the other, TK likewise. TK as a band, they have a particular chemistry. And I believe some of that may be lacking in terms of innovation and creativity. So that a lot of the songs, it's just the melody that changes, but the beat is almost the same thing. So you find a lot of them sound a little monotonous.
You see, but again, back then you needed musicians for your music. Now you have apps and different things that as an individual you can just pick up your mic and produce your own song.
Agreed. There was always that, because there's guys in Zouk, Gilles Flo and these guys used to make their own album themselves. But then I just believe, for the longevity of our music, we need to encourage bands as well as solo, so then we can have both moving.
If you look at the region, it's becoming extinct. It's becoming something of the past. Like you have a Burning Flames who broke up, came back together. You had a WCK, if they stayed together, would have been a force to be reckoned with. It's fortunate that you have a band like TK of individuals who understand what needs to be done. But then you now have that individuality. Now that persons want their own identity, they want their own brand, and they realize the success of the individuality of me creating my own brand, that I can pick up a guitarist day to day, or I can fly to Spain or wherever and get a guitarist to come and play. I can.
Yeah, but then let's look at the two bands we have, and how significant their sound. Sound, their sound is just totally different. And I was just more or less referring to the sound.
I understand.
Because a band creates their flavor. It's a formula, and with that formula they create their creativity excels with their formula. Who put in this and who put in that. But then most times you just have, let's say, a beat, a producer, beats.
You still have the band, but then it's more now the individual. Okay, Marshall Montana, I'm sure he travels, he has a band, but it's Marshall Montana.
Well, yes, there's a face.
Riley, right. So,
there's a face.
Right. So
but then at the end of the day, with that face, if you want the authenticity of the sound, you get a band.
yes,
You understand?
right.
Because it's for major festival, it sells better with like for instance the World Creole Music Festival. It playback or anything that sounds too sequenced has not been received well by the public.
No, but
the public,
I'm agreeing with you.
The public now. So say something like the World Creole Music Festival, you may have to have all stars because of the lack of bands. You may have to have all stars that are hitting and trending, and may have the music to come together with a backup band.
That's what I'm saying. So the band, because you will always have the bands.
The bands are not there anymore. It's only two.
That's what I'm saying.
Apart from Swinging Stars, Ecstasy, and Serenade.
But they're not being branded.
It's like how we noticed several years ago that we were losing brassmen because it was only Swinging Stars and Serenade that are playing brass. So brass now is becoming an endangered species in a band. None of the bands dare venture in brass. It's the same way we are now reaching a stage where we have very little bands. But we don't want to waste too much time on that. That's another discussion. So social media influence of the year, DJ of the year.
Yes. One of the areas that we before most of our DJs were at home. They played in Dominica and that's it. Right now you're seeing a lot of our DJs traveling. Yeah. You're seeing their YouTube
likes
views,
and views
in the millions.
And
so those are some of the criteria that we're really looking at. Your global influence, your local influence, and your online presence as well.
Fan base and so on.
Fan base, yes.
Okay, and also Musician of the Year Award, Sound System of the Year Award, to include Engineer and Truck on the Road. You mentioned that earlier.
Yes, that is key because at the end of the day, it helps our carnival to be the best carnival in the region. The quality of the sound
on the road
is very important.
And that's on the road.
Yes, on the road. So that bass hitting you, that truck coming down or coming, like TK made a song this year. I think it lends to them coming over on the bridge. Those whole elements are part of our carnival. You waiting for the band to come on the road. That influences a lot, especially now that you have the carnival bands, the mass troops. Having quality sound at the front and at the back helps. When you look at the pictures for Juve, the amount of people and that you as an individual, the truck is big. But when you look at the pictures, you see that people swarming and the music is still pounding you.
Resonating both front and back. Manager of the Year, Photographer, Videographer of the Year.
Yeah, that is important. The manager, again, is very important to, and again, I mentioned, I don't want to sound biased, but the whole signal band of them going on leaving Montserrat, the manager ensuring that they have everything, because guys, we're not coming back here. We're catching the boat to go to Antigua to play, right? Those aspects, and managers are a very important element within
the music structure itself.
And then we even look at the controversy that happened just the other day, which we don't want to really mention. And again, the importance of managers reaching out to promoters to really have the artists understand what needs to happen for them to be successful.
Okay, bon. Sponsor of the Year, Event of the Year.
Sponsor of the Year, again, we have to recognize those who have invested in our artists, in our music. It can't go unnoticed. And then also we are
So
seeing
it
now,
may be a business place.
yes, it's business place. We're also looking now at events, the quality of the event. Right now, everybody has step up. It's not just I find a venue and I have a stage and I host the event. The decor, the
layout.
VIP, the layout, how the
whole
client-
atmosphere and the ambience.
right? So you encourage that, and that again is part of the creative industry.
Not only that, but then the provisions for accommodating your fans, toilet facilities,
Exactly.
that sort of thing, the entire layout.
So it's a product that you're basically selling to the public.
Okay. In terms of sponsorship for the awards,
We're encouraging persons to sponsor. We have categories in regards to the title sponsor, platinum sponsors, gold sponsors, silver sponsor. You can also sponsor category. We have 25 categories categories that you can specifically say, okay, X, Y, and Z artist of the year, that type of stuff.
okay, so a prospective sponsor can choose from the 25 categories and decide they want to actually sponsor. So, for instance, let us suppose, let's take the first one, Bouillon Artist of the Year Award. Let's suppose DBS Radio wants to sponsor that. So the award will be sponsored by DBS Radio, the Bouillon Artist of the Year. So your name.
So basically, your name would be on the award.
On the
Mention
award.
of the name when presenting the award.
award, yeah.
You have 2 VIP tickets. Enhance the brand credibility and media exposure. So that's basically for your category of sponsoring the category.
What about other categories?
Okay, so the benefit of the title sponsor is your name and logo on all promotional material. So it would be XYDBS Dominican Music Awards. You get full page ad. We were just again going to reintroduce the Creole Heartbeat magazine. So you have a full page ad, 30-second ad on the night of the music award, also on our different Creole Heartbeat radio program. And there's many more within the category that you can benefit.
In terms of public and private sector sponsorship, how important it is for them to align with this particular music awards?
It's important because it helps the industry. It helps the creative industry. It helps your brand in regards to being recognized with a product or a service that encourages or build on our music industry or creative industry. And again, I go back to the fact that recently Carnival just concluded and we heard the numbers in regards to direct economic activities for the different small businesses, large businesses within the society. So encouraging the creative industry, recognizing persons within the creative industry is only going to improve and grow the industry, and also that being improved and that growing. Just imagine we grow another 34% next year. That means that the economy grows within that period another 30%.
Very often it is said that musicians, artists are not respected. How these awards would dilute that that particular myth and give some respectability to the artists and their art forms, because creative arts is unique. Creative arts is one of the things or one of the areas that have really helped countries thrive, reign supreme, have a level of dominance, have a level of tourist arrivals coming to a destination because of a particular type, especially culture, and we know what heritage tourism can do. So how does the awards enhance the national ability to project the countries forward?
It brings a certain level of respect, credibility, and it gives you a blueprint as to what and how you need to produce your music, what you need to do to be recognized. So at the end of the day now, it's not just I am producing it, throwing it out there and hope it sticks. You are now given an opportunity to produce between a particular period of time. You're also, your music, if it reaches a certain level, will be recognized locally. It will be consumed locally, and at the same time, internationally, regionally, it will be consumed. By having the awards, it creates a platform for you to position yourself for other awards, because within the region now we have the Caribbean Music Awards. So at the end of the day, you, as a musician, when you go into the studio, you have to start to think, boy, I am producing this not only for public consumption, but I want to be recognized as the top musician or the top soca artist, the top booyah artist. We saw what happened with Ridge and with Asa, how they cherish that particular. Sometimes they put in the work within they put in the hours, put in the time. They're pushing their music, they're performing. It takes a lot from them. But just by being recognized on that particular night by your own peers, by your own people, that alone fuels you and motivates you to want to produce more.
Jerry Williams, also the next edition, finally, as we have to go now, the next edition of Creole Heartbeat will be out very soon.
Yes, it will be
the magazine
by mid-April, and it would cover areas from the culture, music, from January to March.
Really emphasizing the importance of Creole Heartbeat institution in promoting, preserving the culture, going to the cracks and crevices of Dominica. We also do sports on a major scale and bringing to the fore our energies, our positivity, what makes the other side of Dominica unique, special. And that's what we actually place our efforts in, and we're looking forward to everyone being on board with this particular effort. It's a noble effort where it takes quite a bit of effort and energy to really get this thing going, but it is important we do so for our musical technocrats, for those who make us happy, those who produce music who can have us distressed. It is important that we put them at a pedestal where they can continue to produce. We encourage them. We encourage them to actually be better role models for their peers and to give them something real important that can place their report cards at a different level. Just imagine you get an A in your subjects, and that's what basically the awards is, getting something to be cherished, to be known as throughout the entire year as the best in the business, excellence, brilliance, and let's hope that we can get our artists and musicians to up the game by this particular endeavor. We're looking for the partnerships from all the letters that we have sent out. We're looking for a positive response from you very soon so we can really put this thing as a real spectacle in Dominica's musical history. This is Jerry Williams, and he's the actual coordinator of the Dominica Music Awards. I'm Ambassador Prince Wadix, and until next week, I really entice you to continue to listen to your nation station, Dominica's premier voice for entertainment, education, and most of all, information. Until next week, God bless you, God bless Dominica.
Yes, I, Sakai Malad, Prince Wadix, Prince Wadix, Prince Wadix, Prince Wadix. Papou a wete ba moun flè la yo mange a quitter la vie. Apprecier sa yo ka fè kon yo a parmi nous jodi. La c'est